So now, ladies and gentlemen, live and in color, it's Mr. Wayne Lovejuice.
The other day I produced a Louis, had a chat with an interesting chappie who said that the YouTube algorithms really aren't that happy. If a channel only broadcasts once a week, so we decided we could text ya whenever we've got a piece of news in our new book on the track Xtra.
The other thing is, so I don't want to I'm just kind of going to different stuff here. Well, I'll go back to Steve Baxter's thing of what's going on in this rendition is, okay, there's a researcher or a wilderness type guy or whatever. And then here's the Sasquatch and he's giving him a feather. And there's one thing that they call gifting. And people say they'll put out shiny rocks and then the Sasquatch will put down, like something like a piece of plastic they found or something they found in the woods that they think is special. And they kind of do a trading thing. And I was really skeptical about this for a long time. And I've never experimented with it, but some pretty credible people have been talking about it. Not really in the academic realm, which doesn't really do anything for me anyway. But I started finding things on the trail though. I'd go up the trail a certain distance, and then for safety reasons, because you can get lost out here in the Northwest really easily. Because you could be going, okay, I'm going to stay on this creek bed. And then you stay on the creek bed and then you come back to creek bed, you're usually safe. But if there's a fork in the creek bed and you're coming back on the other side, you might go completely miles out of the way. And even though it might be like a little bit, after a long way, you're really far. And I ended up 35 miles from my Land Rover one day. And I was lost for 2 days. This was like 6 years ago, but I thought for sure I was toast. I brought safety stuff like a firearm because there's grizzly bears and wolves and mountain lions, but also, hypothermia is a big deal. You could die of hypothermia. And as a Sasquatch, they're adapted to nature. For the most part, even when you see those wilderness survival shows, programs that they send people to Alaska, I don't think anyone's made it over a month. And these are like complete experts, from all walks of wilderness survival, education, and military experience. So just a regular person like me could be dead in 2 or 3 days. So even though you bring stuff, a compass, a GPS, a map, you can still get lost. But anyway, so what I've been doing is I just go up one trail, come back the same trail. And I put tie a bright orange ribbon around the old oak tree or whatever, so I can see, where I've been. So I don't want to take a chance on losing my dog or losing me. Or the horses seem to know how to get back to the trailer. So that's not that big of a deal. But anyway, so I started finding things on the trail. I'd go up, and when I come back, there's something on the trail that wasn't there when I come back in the afternoon, I go up in the morning. There was things that weren't there that morning on the trail that were there in the afternoon when I come back. So at first I just thought it was a coincidence, but then I started collecting them. So I'll show you some of the things. Okay, here's one. It's a domestic dog skull. I think it's a poodle. So that was kind of strange. And it was right in the middle of the trail. I mean, it wasn't like off to the side or in the bushes or it rolled in. It was set there just like this. Facing, when I came in, it was facing the way I was walking, right in the middle of the trail. And I thought that was kind of strange. And I don't know if other animals try to freak you out by doing this, and then I found this one here, which is a moose, a female moose. And it was similarly in a clearing right next to the trail. It wasn't there in the morning. It was there in the afternoon on the way back. Let's see what else. And this is over a lot of years. It's not like happens every time, but here's a doe, a deer skull. And let's see what this is the weirdest one. This is a black bear.
Oh, wow.
Yeah, this is strange. So it had two teeth, two giant canines coming out. But one of the neighborhood kids climbed over the fence and stole one of the teeth. So, but anyway, you can see that's a bear. It's not huge. So a black bear, which are most of the times when I see black bears, they're over the size of a big German Shepherd.
Mm,
They're not huge.
no.
And a grizzly bear is a completely different thing. They're like a monster. And I consider them a monster actually. And they do kill people up here about maybe once a month or so.
Okay.
And then let's see, not as many as people kill people, but
No.
grizzly bears do them. And then here's like a cranial of a buck deer. And this is stuff that was laid out so I could see it, like on an old cut trumps. I think this one was on a stump, like a cut down tree stump, just sitting on there. Didn't see it on the way up, but found it on the way back.
Well, they're presents for you.
Yeah, it's kind of strange. And then this wasn't one of those. This I found near one of the structures, and I think that was used as a club.
What is
Uh,
that moose?
yeah, I think this is a moose. I think it's a tibia or a fibula. I don't know which. I can't remember which. I looked it up, but anyway, it's really heavy. So I was thinking they used this as a weapon. It's kind of strange. There is a bite mark right here in it. See that bite
Oh,
mark? So something bit into it, either a bear or a wolf or a Sasquatch. But there's definitely something. You can see teeth marks.
you have mountain lions up there.
Oh yeah, we have a lot of them. But the thing with mountain lions is the way you differentiate a kill from a moose. I mean, not a moose, they don't be chewing on people. A wolf, and the difference between a wolf, a bear, and a mountain lion is a wolf is a dog. So it will take the bones and go chew them up.
Yeah.
So you'll find, chewed up bones. Wolf love to chew up bones. You can see a wolf kill and they usually they'll take the skull and save the brains for later to eat or to bring to their pups. So the skull is usually never with the skeleton, but you will find them like near the wolf's den, the skulls. And but they will chew the bones. They love to chew them just like a dog. They sit and gnaw on them. So you can find nod in wolf areas. You can find, like, we have a wolf pack that lives here in this area. I don't remember what their range is, but it's like, I think it's 12 or 20 mile range, but square miles. But we do have one in this area. Once in a while it gets too big and the helicopter has to fly over and shoot one of them or whatever. Because once you shoot the head lady one, it's a matriarch, they'll split up for a while, and they'll disseminate. Otherwise, it's pup litter after pup litter after pup litter, and you can get a huge population. But anyway, so there's that. And I don't know if they were using this like protection, like, so they carry it around to knock someone because it's really heavy. So, but it wasn't with a skeleton. So, but it could have been dragged off by a predator. Like I said, well, anyway, back to the mountain lions. Mountain lions don't chew bones. If they make a kill, it's as, they get up, they bite them on the back of the neck, and then with the back feet, they kick off the rump. They just shred the rump, and then they bring it down by the neck, and then they eat the meat, but they don't chew the bones. So you can tell a mountain lion versus a wolf kill. And of course, bears just rip stuff apart.
Also, they lick the meat off because they got a rough.
Yeah,
tongue.
right. I
Yeah.
think that's correct. Yeah. So you don't really see too much tooth marks, but on of course wolf they really chew, and then bears there's just massive viciousness.
Well, the tooth mark on that big bone of yours doesn't look like either a bear or a wolf.
No, it really doesn't.
No, it
And
looks like it's a something.
yeah, it looks like you can see the shape of a mouth and it's pretty elongated. I mean, yeah, because there's a muzzle on a wolf and a dog or a bear too. They have a giant canine, which you don't see. You don't see a hole from a canine unless this is it here. But like you say, yeah, it is really long for something like that.
Have you thought of getting one of those apps? You can get them for your phone, which will scan the inside of the hole so you can get an idea of the shape of the tooth.
Oh, that's interesting. No, I didn't have that app. That's pretty
And
neat. I didn't.
it's
Yeah.
free. I can't remember what it's called, but you can get it and it doesn't cost anything.
I think there's some other thing. I think I showed you these at some other time, but I think these are like tools because they're always the same
Hmm.
size. I found like a whole bunch of these, probably, I think I'm at like 12 of these now that are all the same size and they seem to be shaped.
Hmm.
And you could say, well, a wolf bit that in half, but then there's no gnaw marks on it. And on some of them, you can actually see like where, like it was used for something.
Yeah,
So anyway, that's
maybe digging up grubs or whatever.
yeah, digging up roots or grubs. And I found this the other day,
What the
and
hell
it
is that?
yeah, I think it's a cat, like a domestic cat. So I don't know if this really didn't fit the thing of I didn't find it on a stump or in a trail. I was just kind of going across and I found an animal that was all spread out, and this was it, and it was a cat. So it doesn't really fit my theory, but it's still interesting. I mean, what was a domestic cat doing way up in the mountains? I don't know. It's possible. You never know. But I know coyotes do. Coyotes, they come into town. They live on the outskirts of town. They come into town and eat dogs and cats, like as a rule. That's one of their main food sources. So I could have been a coyote on that one. But this is what they call a fogelrite. A fogelrite, I think it's called. And what it is where lightning has struck the ground and it melts the sand into glass, and you can see the hole where the lightning entered,
Good
and you
God.
can see how it's melted.
Wow.
So I found this on the trail, and I didn't see any more. It's like volcanic pumice almost in lightness,
Mhm.
but this is glass. This is actually glass. This is actually glass where the lightning melted it. And I thought, well, something thought this was interesting and put it on the trail, or else maybe a hiker found it and put it on the trail to get it later and forgot it.
Mhm.
But anyway, I thought it was pretty cool, so
It's
I got.
very cool.
What else is there in here? My dog will eat me. I don't want a dog to eat my tools. I don't know what this is, but I think it's some kind of like a beaver.
Yes. It,
Someone took the teeth out of it, but it's a beaver, and this was one that was I found on a trail.
it's either a beaver or it's a porcupine.
Yeah, yeah, something about that size. Yeah, and it looked like it had some really big uh teeth there. Anyway, I'll just go over some other just random stuff, I guess. This carving, I got it when I was in Bluff Creek, Willow Creek, Bluff Creek, where the Patterson Gimlin film was made. And the reason I got it is it reminds me of I got this about 10 years ago. I took the train there, and Willow Creek is the little town right outside of where Patterson Gimlin made their film, and it's all Bigfoot themed. So they have a Bigfoot restaurant, Bigfoot burgers, Bigfoot museum, Bigfoot steakhouse, and then like the Legends of Bigfoot is a store where they sell all kinds of stuff. Well, right outside of the town, they have this guy has an old cabin set up, and he carves Bigfoots there. And this is made out of redwood, out of one of the redwood trees that grow there, because it's a redwood forest there. It's in the Humboldt. It's called the Emerald Triangle. And it's if you watch Hulu, the Hulu Sasquatch movie. I don't know if you've seen that. The
Oh,
Hulu Sasquatch movie. It's a documentary. Have you seen that one yet?
not
It's
yet.
called, well, look up, it's on YouTube now. It's called Hulu Sasquatch. And it's about the emerald, they call it the Emerald Triangle because when marijuana growing was illegal, there was all these illegal farms there through the Emerald Triangle. And the theory is that the legend is that these things were going into the fields and eating the buds off the plants. And that they would, once in a while, they would kill growers, kill the farmer. Because when they ate this stuff, I can't remember what I thought it was this. Our brain has receptors to different hallucinogenics and things like that. Like the
Yeah.
human brain has receptors for caffeine, for alcohol, for cannabis. It's called the THC receptors, stuff like that. And so these things would eat those things, and their receptors uh, would they would get these, and their receptors would go nuts, and they would go nuts because they couldn't handle the THC in it. So they would go nuts and just completely rip people to shreds. And they were, I actually went into the area. That's where I got this. And it was, of course, back then it was like an illegal thing. So it was really dangerous there to go asking questions. But I came in, asking Sasquatch questions. And then, I went around different things and stuff. And I finally did get people to say that, yeah, these things will kill the growers. And they had migrant workers coming over from the country of Mexico. They were migrant workers. They had a furlough. They would come in. They would have a green card, which is the green card you show it and you're allowed to work. And it's all up and up legal and everything. But these guys were getting missing. They were gone. And so in like the Hulu Sasquatch, they found these guys completely pulled apart. And in the movie, it's a documentary actually, but in the documentary, at the end, there's two theories. One, uh, the witnesses saw these guys shredded, pulled apart in this field by other growers. And they killed these guys, pulled them apart. So they says Bigfoot has, killed these guys, and they're all nervous and scared because they just saw these people completely pulled apart. And so this guy does this in-depth thing, and he finds out the head of the drug cartel there was named Bigfoot. So when the guy said Bigfoot pulled these guys apart, you don't know if it was the animal or the drug lord. And you dare not say it's the drug lord, or you will be pulled apart.
Oh,
So
Christ, you'd have to be a bloody idiot to go and ask questions there.
yeah, I know I was. But anyway, so I did come up with I had a couple people that were in there that did give me some information. And I had this Asian lady go in who was a little more less threatening than me, because they might think I'm a cop or an FBI or anything. So she would go in and get a job picking the plants, and then like gradually start, talking about Bigfoot. So anyway, this was like a very long time ago. But anyway, so that I left. I never did get the answer if Bigfoot was really uh, eating, killing, and decapitating these people. But the one story that is in the film Hulu Sasquatch is not the only one like that. And I've heard Bobo Fay from Finding Bigfoot say that he was familiar with other stories that were not this story of people getting um, basically drawn and quartered by Sasquatch. And Thomas Seward, who I said was the Vancouver Island Sasquatch Native American researcher and tracker, he tracked all his life for big game and things like that in Vancouver, had a similar, I can't remember exactly what he said, but he said that that was correct. You don't mess with them because they'll eat you. But the guy who carved this guy had a really interesting story. He said his grandparents migrated to the Emerald Triangle, Humboldt area near Bluff Creek um, in the 1800s, and they had a family oral story, oral history of the great grandfather going down to what they call the Eel River. It's a river that goes out to the ocean there from Humboldt that has eels going through it. And you can go in and grab an eel and throw it up and eat it or whatever, see the eels swim by. And I've been there several times, and you can pick berries that grow up and down the Eel River. And so supposedly the Sasquatch eat those, eat berries, among other things. They have a plethora of things they can eat. You look at the wood, you think, oh, what do they eat? But they know what to eat. There's tons of stuff to eat out there. And if there wasn't, there wouldn't be bears, elk, moose. Moose are huge. They're as big as a horse, some bigger.
Mm.
Anyway, so he saw a family of these things, and this is a copy of one that he saw that his grandfather described to him. And they were bathing in the Eel River, a whole family, like two offspring, a female and two males. And they were actually bathing in the river. And his great grandfather saw this. So I thought that was really interesting. And I don't know if anyone's ever documented the guy's story, but it's pretty interesting. Let's see what else.
We're running out of time again.
Okay. Well, I'll show you my one last thing. Okay. I sort of befriended Ron Moorhead from the Sierra Sounds. I don't know if you
Yeah.
guys are familiar with that, but anyway, so I did a magazine on the Sierra Sounds, and here's Ron Moorhead right here, and here he is on his horse. I was saying that's a horse camp. Then here's a tape recorder, and then here's a rendition of him recording the Sasquatch. Of course, he didn't see it, but his daughter did. And so I kind of got the description. And I know another fellow that was actually at the camp as well, that kind of, I've known him for years, and he validated all that stuff for me. So I made this. This is in honor of Ron Moorhead. I copied his hat. I don't know if you've ever seen his hat.
Oh, that's a very cool hat.
Yeah, so that I replicated his. Yeah, he's wearing it right here. So
That's
we're kind of
very, very, very good
we're
copy.
kind of brothers in hat. But the other last thing, if we got a second.
We have a minute and a quarter.
Okay, so this here is one that I carved. It's not as good as that guy, of course. He was a professional carver, but he's got the funny feet and everything. And this is a skunk ape. And what I did is, when I did the magazine and stuff, the researcher that I use, I give him one of these. It's called a Squatch Oscar. And so whoever helps me out doing one of the issues, I give them an Oscar. And it's not, the weird Hollywood thing, but it's the Squatch. And this guy's a skunk ape because he's wrestling an alligator.
Which
So I
is
thought-
a great place to leave it for this time.
Okay.
And I will be back in a few months' time, sending you a message saying, "Oi, Ray, do you want to do another interview?"
Yeah, and hopefully I'll have lassoed a Squatch by then.
I seriously hope so. Thanks very much, Ray, my
Thanks,
dear.
Jonathan. I appreciate it. It was a lot of fun.
Bye-bye.